Welcome to the People Leaders Podcast, the audio resource for managers and business leaders creating high-performing teams. Join leadership and team development experts Jan and Michelle Turkelson each week as they explore both subjects from every angle. Through practical tips, valuable insights, and compelling interviews with leadership experts around the world, you'll learn how to bring out the best in your staff and how to give your best as a leader.
Hi Michelle. Hi Jan, how are you? Excellent, terrific. Today, let's get really practical and share with everybody a great template that we have shared with managers about how to really get to know each and every team member really quickly without spending years and lots of experience in the meantime. Yeah, so this is a document to help the team with an overview of how each person operates. And the benefit of this, basically it's going to save you lots of time. You are going to get to know your team members, and fellow team members are going to get to know each other in a way that is safe and deep and structured and a shortcut. That's right. Do it in your own time, and it could be fun. And you actually get to learn something about yourself by doing this. Filling out the template. Yeah, and it's really easy to do. And so what we have seen is that teams have turned this into a great team building activity, and we can talk to people about how to use this. So why don't we just jump straight in. So let's assume that everybody has the template in front of them. But if they don't, imagine that we've got an A4 corkboard almost with some yellow stickies on it or some notes, and they have different headings on them. And the first one is my style. Then there's another one, how to communicate with me, what I value, how you can help me, what I don't have the patience for, and my personality type. So they're the broad headings. And what we're going to essentially do is get individual team members to fill out those elements on the A4 sheet and share them with one another. Yeah. And if you're listening to the podcast or on our website, there's a link so you can actually download this template. So let's crack on to the first one, which is about my style. Yeah, so under my style, we just ask people to note down what are 3 key strengths that they have. And really a strength, as we know it, is a talent that is combined with skill, knowledge and experience determines somebody's strength. So, most people could identify off the bat their top 3 strengths. Well, not necessarily, Michelle. Remember we were talking as a senior leader and they were asked that question, what their strengths are, and they really had to pause because they hadn't reflected on that. And for someone in a senior leadership role, we think it's extremely important that you understand and can articulate your strengths. So an example of a key strength might be to, coordinate many moving parts on a project, for example, or it could be data analysis. Exactly. Yeah. An area of personal development is, so this is a question on my style. So if you were to answer that, Michelle, an area for personal development, that I want to work on might be how to deal with conflict and how to manage conflict in the workplace. Very good. Yeah. The next one around my style is 3 words people have used to describe me. So when we ask that, we usually say, think of one that is positive, one that you think, it's true, but it's not, so glowing, and then a third. And usually people can come up with those 3 words. And don't ask me what they are, Jan, because it's not about me. No, I was going to say, ask me. The last bit on my style is I learn best by. Oh, fantastic. I love this one. And so it could be I learn best by jumping in and getting my hands dirty. Experience, by reading, by reflecting. Yeah. The next part of the yellow sticky in this corkboard, if you can imagine it, the next major heading is how to communicate with me. Yeah, I love that. So the more specific questions that go underneath this area, first one is the best way to communicate with me is. Now, if we think about introversion, extroversion, just as an example, we might say the best way to communicate with me is one-on-one and in person, or the best way to communicate with me is via email, or take me out for coffee.
Or even the best way to communicate with me is often and early.
Yeah, great.
Or it could be paint the big picture, give me the benefit first, give me the bad news first. Yeah, whatever comes to mind for
you. And you know what? Everybody will have their own way of answering. Yeah, that's right. Which leads to more discussion and a deeper understanding of the people that you're trying to get to know. So the next question is the best type of meeting for me, and I know what we're going to hear a lot of is short.
Yeah, sharp.
Or not at all.
And to the point.
That's right. And for some people, the best type of meeting for me is where a decision is being made. For others, the best type of meeting for me is one where there is rich discussion and everybody gets to share and voice their opinions. So could get some interesting answers for that one. The next one is the best way to solve a problem with me is doing it together. Give me information up front. Give me the result that you're after. What is the outcome? What are my, key factors?
Yeah, the
parameters. Yeah, great. Okay, so we've had a look at my style. We've also had a look at how to communicate with me. And the next area is what I value. So the 3 key questions under this are my top 3 work values.
Yeah, and work values could be around integrity. It could be around work-life balance.
Yeah, an example could be one of my work values is that I value creative freedom in the type of work that I do is an example.
Let's have a look at the thing I like most about my role, which is under the what I value segment of this template.
So in a team environment, this might be really useful. You could swap role for career or the organisation. It's really up to you. But if we're going to follow this, it's the thing I like most about my role is the fact that I have freedom. I keep using that one, don't I? Must like freedom. Another example of what I like most about my role is that I get to meet with a variety of different stakeholders in the organisation, for example.
Or it's meaningful work that I can see the impact that I'm having on team or the organisation or the community in general.
That's right. Diversity could be lots of examples. So the next question is, what energises me? And so this is really good insight as to what are the things that sort of motivate people and give them that juice to keep them going throughout the day. For some people, it's, a team environment, and for others, it's actually working on a really juicy problem to solve. So there are a couple of examples that might come out in what energises me. What I love about this template, Jan, is that there is no hard and fast way that you must answer the question. All questions are going to be valuable.
And again, it's going to demonstrate the diversity in the team, which I think is extremely important. The next topic is what I don't have patience for. So this is really an example of getting in a little bit deeper into what frustrates people.
Yeah, so for some people it might be office politics, it might be gossiping. I don't have the patience for gossiping, or I don't have the patience for red tape. It could be...
Yeah, I don't have the patience for people withholding important information.
Yep.
Or for not following through, not having integrity.
Or I don't have the patience for people who are disrespectful. There could be lots of things that come out here.
Or keep talking in meetings when we've already heard them say what they want to say.
Or talk over me.
Interrupt me. Us extroverts. All right, so the next aspect is personality. So however you want to describe your personality. So it could be I would describe my personality as being someone who is optimistic or extroverted or introverted or reflective.
And this is the opportunity, if you have done your Myers-Briggs or your Clarity 4D colour energy, to use that.
Or your LSI.
Or your LSI, because people would say, oh, what's that? Could create more discussion. Oh, I didn't know you've done your Myers-Briggs, so have I. And then you've got something in common. Or it could be, the personality that I would describe myself is. And you could have an approach that you as a team might agree to with that one.
That's right.
That's an interesting one, I think. personality one. So the next area is how to help and support me. And there are 3 key questions under this one. And the first one is my preferred work environment. So an example of my preferred work environment might be I like a lot of hustle and bustle and lots of activity going on.
I like deadlines.
Yeah.
I like
Structure.
structure. I like to work in a team, or I like to work solo. I like to have time where I can nut out a situation and then call on for support.
Great. And the next one is, what people misunderstand about me. Okay, this is your time to set the record straight. So people might think that I am
I'm disengaged because I'm not social. So I find this a lot with people with a preference for introversion. When they're having a conversation, a lot of times what we've noticed is they look down and they look away. But what they're trying to do is to really listen to every, word and understand what that person is saying. And they don't want any extra sensory input. And people think that they're disengaged or they're not contributing. Another example in a meeting, when someone with introversion is not contributing in a meeting, that by speaking they think they're not contributing, but perhaps they're contributing by listening, by holding the space, and they might get their insights away from the meeting or after the conversation.
That's right. And the opposite would apply for some people who have a preference for extroversion. People misunderstand about me is that they mistake my passion for being overbearing and over the top. Perhaps.
Yeah, and my interruption, but being rude, whereas what they're trying to do is build on someone's conversation or what they're saying.
Yes, so that could be a very interesting one. And people might say, actually, I don't have an answer for that one. So we'll just see.
And the final,
we like this one,
is
under stress I look like. So what are you like under stress? Do you tend to go into yourself, into your cave and disengage?
So do you want to know what I'm like?
I know what you're like.
So how would you say I am?
You become very businesslike, very to the point.
Yeah, and nitpicky.
Nitpicky. Right.
What do you think you're like under stress?
I disengage. I think I zone out.
Yeah, head in the cloud.
Yeah.
Michelle, are you there? Oh, yeah, right. And I know my husband under stress, he, instead of being, funny skeptical, he becomes cynical. And that's how I know he's under stress.
And my husband, ENTJ, thinker, becomes a little bit emotional.
Right, yeah. So we all react differently. And I think it's important to understand how we do respond, because then we can go, that person needs a check-in, just want to see how they're going.
Yeah, I think that's a really good well-being question actually in there.
Yeah. So, have a look at it. And I think, it doesn't have to be a long time, but I think it would really benefit the team, to have a go at this template.
Yeah. So this template is a really good one to use if you are a new manager to a team, if it's if it's a new team just coming together, just being formulated.
A new project.
Yes, that's right. Or it could be a team that needs a bit of a revamp.
That's right.
It could be a great team building activity, and then you can use that and bring it out every so often for you to have a look at. I would, as a manager, put this associated with the development plan, so that I've got a holistic picture of the people that I'm working with. And can you imagine doing something like this team by team?
That's right, for an organisation.
That's right, and that's our next podcast. We're going to do This Is Me, or This Is Our Team.
Yeah, you could do it from a stakeholder perspective.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So please give it a go, and we would love to know how you go with this, and give us some feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over and out.
Bye.
You've been listening to the People Leaders Podcast with Michelle and Jan Turkelson. For show notes and other free resources, please visit us at peopleleaderspodcast.com. Do you know someone else who could benefit from cutting-edge leadership and management techniques? Please take a moment to share this and other episodes via your podcast app, email, or social media channels. Each share helps us fulfill our goals of reducing workplace stress and increasing job satisfaction for leaders, managers, and their teams worldwide. The People Leaders Podcast is brought to you by the Experts On Air Podcast Network.